This tutorial will give us a rundown of the basic operations of adding and subtracting when we're working with numbers in scientific notation. The most important thing is we need the same magnitude, or in other words, those exponents have to be the same. That's pretty similar to like terms, just like in fractions, we have to have a common denominator. I know that's a fascinating fact. So what we're going to do, though, is we're always going to change the smaller exponent into the larger one. So we're going to change this into something that's 10 to the power of 4. The analogy I think helps with this. Think of a seesaw. If we move that exponent up by 1, we've got to take this number in front and decrease it. The way we're going to do that is by moving the decimal over 1 spot to make it 32 hundredths. Now that we've done this, we do have that common magnitude, so we're going to line up the decimals and then combine. This is just addition with 2 positives, so we'll just go from right to left here and add everything up. We have 4 and 42 hundredths times 10 to the 4th. And again, making that fraction analogy, just like you keep the common denominator once we create it, we're going to keep this magnitude once we've created it. So 4 and 42 hundredths times 10 to the 4th is our final answer. In this next example, we are adding, but this time with a positive and a negative, so you know that means we'll actually have to subtract them when we do combine. And this time I made the exponents actually 2 apart. There's a -5 and a -3. And also, if you think of a number line, that -5 is actually a smaller number than -3. So that's the one we're going to change. Since we increase the exponent by 2 in this case, we actually move the decimal to the left 2 spots to make 27 thousandths times 10 to the -3rd. And again, since one's a positive and one's a negative, we're actually just going to subtract these once we line up the decimals. You'll notice when we subtract and line up the decimals, it is helpful to put in some placeholders so you can go through the subtraction and borrow and things in an organized manner. Now that we've done that, we'll just subtract these. I'll give you a second to do it. You can pause the video. And the final answer is going to be 2 and 73 thousandths times 10 to the -3rd. And again, looking at those original numbers, since that negative number was farther from 0, because that -3 was actually larger, the negative is going to win out here, and our final answer would be -2 and 73 thousandths times 10 to the -3rd. In this last one here, we've got a little bit of subtraction. As always, we're going to change the smaller number into the larger, so we're going to turn that exponent of 4 into a 5. Actually, can give you a few seconds to try that on your own, and in a couple seconds the answer will pop up if you want to pause it. You'll actually turn that into 87 hundredths times 10 to the 5th. And now that we've made that common magnitude, we're just going to line those up, and it was a subtraction question, so we're going to subtract. Once we subtract these, we will get that we have to borrow and to get a 3 there. Borrow again, 17 take away 8 is 9. So it looks like we're going to get 3 and 93 hundredths times 10 to the 5th. So in summary, what are a couple things we need to remember when adding or subtracting numbers that are in scientific notation? The first is that you need a common magnitude or exponent. You cannot add the 2 numbers together unless you have made a common exponent. Second, think of that seesaw when changing the magnitude, because again, if we make that exponent go up, the number in the front has to get smaller. And you're going to do that by moving the decimal, the number of places that you moved up that exponent. Last, don't forget the signs of your numbers. Knowing which one's farther from 0 for the purpose of combining is very important, and it stinks to do all the good work and all the arithmetic and then miss a question because you forgot the sign. So I hope this has been helpful, and you can use this to complete any of the adding and subtracting questions for that sheet that I've put on the website for you.